So this dude has earned a lot more inside freedom, even though he earned it by sneaking out of his home. That dude's a pain in the butt. Tank, be good, leave your bro alone. Oh, let's take this and move it this way. All right. And this guy, hi, cool guy. It's now nap time, usually for everybody. I'm gonna give him a look. Hey, settle down. That's a good boy. You gotta settle down with that crap. That's why you hurt your little leg again, fool. I wanted to make you meet him today. Here, there you go. Again. So anyways. There you go, good boy. See? I need to go back to you having short space. You running all through there is what made that happen. I think. Could be the cold. Right? Doesn't the cold make us old people? So, anyways, here's what I was trying to get her more out. Usually what I do is every time I leave, I gotta put her in the crate. And I shouldn't be doing this inside. Here, get down. So I got her tied back to the crate. Now earlier, she did push this out of the way and went and messed with that guy. You'll usually hear him. That's a good boy. That's a very good boy. Because usually when she's jumping around crazy, he starts screeching like a little baby or a banshee, whatever you want to call it. And that's a good girl. So I'm gonna leave it on while I'm doing stuff in here. So what happened is every time going out has been we put the muzzle on, blah blah blah. So I want to start giving her some more freedom inside, which would mean not being crated, right? She can stay out. But she had problems, barrier problems in going after dogs at the boarding place. And she was very close to jumping over their enclosures, which were about, I think 6+ foot high is how tall the wall is, but she was pretty close to getting out. So obviously a 3-foot X pin is nothing to her. And also, like being tethered to that crate, she could probably pull it, which would get her past the kitchen, right? So the long line that she's on right there gets her to exactly right here. So you know what? You've had it on inside for a while. Let me let you get your bone. I know that right there is not fair. Here you go. Right? Take the muzzle off and ignore. See, there he goes. You're all right, dude. Settle down. It tends to be better to just not say anything, but I like to give the tone. Give the calm tone. This is how I want you to act. You see how I'm talking? That's how I want you to act. I might prolong the whining by doing that. Right, so I'm gonna let her chew her little bone while I'm hanging right here. I need to turn this other one on too. Oh, yeah, I need to put these bowls up. I'll turn that on. I want to do, you're right. I'm thinking. You do what you're doing. Oh, I wanted to go to the muzzle thing. So let's pause this while I'm bull jabbing. What else? I don't know. Maybe I should do that barrier thing first. Like right now. I don't know. I'm not going to let her have all this space anyway, so it doesn't matter. She does good walking by them. Yeah, forget about it. Okay, so let's see. Kind of don't want to do this, but we're going to do it. So here's muzzle conditioning. Which I didn't do with her. Hey. Come on back here. So all I did with her, what I did is, because you can manhandle her. Here, over here. So I had the basket one. All right, here's the basket one. So see how she's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get to go out. So here's the basket one. You just put your fingers over all the holes and you throw the hot dogs in there. And then with her, we already knew she was good with being handled. She didn't have a problem with person. So this is for dogs that don't have problems with people. If you have dogs that have a hard time being manhandled, it's much different. This is way easier. So she was kind of crazy. So I just took her and I just held her collar like this. I shoved it on there and then she was like, oh, there's hot dogs in there. And then boom, 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 I got it on. The other part is when you do it, you want to make sure you do all this first, right? So see, this can be flipped around like this, like 2 or 3 times, and that's annoying. So you want to make sure it's nice and straight, and you want to make sure it's opened out, right? Watch out, look, see how she wants it? And it's not because I conditioned it. I mean, in time it's been conditioned, but right. So you want to make sure all these things are nice and straight, right? And over here too, make sure it's nice and wide. So with her, I manhandled her, manhandled. Then you have these ones that are like a mesh, right? So you can take, and I think I did one where I stood here while she was acting crazy and she eventually settled down. So now when she comes out, she acts kind of crazy for a second, then watch, boom, she just go in it. So when you're conditioning it, like if you're gonna condition it, you can just have her go in it, get the hot dogs, and you can just do that a bunch of times. So anyways, and then you work up to leaving it on there, right? Like the other ones, you can feed through it. This one you can't feed through it. So the other ones, the basket ones, you can feed through it. I have a hard time doing it, maybe because I have sort of kind of sausage fingers. And then when you take it off, nothing, right? You act like no big deal. Now with her, it took probably 3 days, 4 times a day of just holding it there. And then now she offers it. I'll let her jump around, take her time, and she offers putting her face in. But when it comes off, totally ignore. And here's the other thing. So then you have the barrier thing, right? Your barriers are over here. Are they right here? Typically, what you want to do with, here, I'm gonna move this down this way. Hold on, right here. Here, sit. Sit. We're not going out. I know this is confusing. Here, come here. Good. Stay right there. Right. So you're gonna pretend that this is barriers over here. If you have a muzzle on, it's no big deal. You have a muzzle on the dog. If they're trying to go over here, you just correct it over, right? Now, you don't have a muzzle on dog, come on. You want to be on the other side. And usually what you do is you want to have a short leash so the dog can't go do all that stuff. But when you have them actually trying to redirect and bite you, that's why you want, first off, you want a muzzle so they can't. But you want to be on the opposite side. Like typically you want to be in between the stimulus and the dog, right? It helps the dog not react. But when you have one that's redirecting, you need to be muzzled, even if you're on the other side. And the other part is you want to give them some leash, right? Instead of keeping it short, you want to give them the leash. And the other part you want to do is kind of hold it like this. So that way if they redirect, you can put this leash right in their front because they're going to go for whatever's first, right? So if the leash is there, they're going to try to get that leash first instead of you, because redirecting is just misplaced energy. They can't get that, so they're going to get what's closest, which is usually the person. So if the leash is right there, I think somebody told me you can hold a toy there, or maybe it's something I made up. So they'll go for the tug toy, which is much better than going for your leg. Anyways, that's your strategies, right? You can either have them muzzled and you can correct them for going at it, and people are going to be like, well, didn't they have a bad association to the dogs? And so what? They already do. At least now they're just walking, right? And then if they're not muzzled, on the other side, and let them have this leash and just hold this leash like this, so they can't get away, right? And then when she turns to redirect, the leash is right there. We'll get that. It's confusing, right, girl? So anyways, that's the easy way. Is that enough of this? Here, girl. That was very nice of you. Those are for you. And this is for me. Hot dogs for you. Hot dogs for me. We're gonna close you back in. Those hot dogs for you for being pretty darn good.